Hi everybody, welcome back to my channel. My name is Anani. For those of you guys who don't know me, I am a Zone 7A gardener. I garden in mostly containers and grow bags. We're about to be 7 weeks away from our last frost. The last time that I saw you guys, I went to go update you on my seedlings and everything that was going on over there in this corner. First of all, let's take a moment of silence for how cute this journal is. This is so cute. It has like onions, it has leeks, it has artichokes, turnips, beets, baguettes, green peppers. Like, it's so cute and it's so fitting. So I was like, why not use this for my garden journal this year? The first order of business, I need to fertilize my pepper plants. Most of them have their true leaves already, so we're going to fertilize the ones that do. They're not the only ones that I can fertilize. I can probably fertilize or find some other ones. Oh, definitely my onions. I want to fertilize those. I really plan on having my onions out like mid to late March. So I'm trying to get as much growth as I can on them. So I'm definitely going to do that. And what we're going to fertilize with is a diluted fish emulsion. I pretty much use this in the garden, not exclusively, but this is a big one. It's natural. It's made of basically fish poop. It's basically fish poop. And yeah, and my garden loves it. So this is the liquid fertilizer that I use. This stuff, beware, it smells really bad. We're gonna make it outside, and that's scary because it's cold, but it's also getting a little dark, so we just do that now. When I usually make this concoction, I wing it. Okay, I don't really have any specific amount or measure to how much. I'll fill one of these up. It would be the gallon size though, not this half gallon, and I would just literally until I felt like it was enough. So like, I wish I had a good answer for you. I'm gonna go with like a teaspoon. We're gonna do like 1 or 2 teaspoons in this half gallon. I said I was gonna do it outside, but it's cold. Let's do it outside because it stinks. It's not too bad. Okay. I am going to open this up. Yeah, I'm glad I didn't. It's like instant. Just, that's good. Try not to gag. Ooh, that's not gonna work. It's good on me. It got on my sweater. New sweater alert. When it comes to fertilizing my seedlings, I do like to bottom water. I fertilize when my soil is slightly damp, only because it just helps the roots and the actual plant absorb the actual nutrients better. I did water all of my seedlings about 2-ish to 3 days ago, which means it's a good time to fertilize them. There's also so much going on over here, so like, let's not even pay it any mind. Our shishito peppers, our hot peppers have their true leaves. And by true leaves, this is what I mean. So the first set of leaves that come out are not considered the true leaves of the plant. It's the second set of leaves that come out that are considered the actual plant leaves. Eventually, these will kind of like wither off and die, but that's just because they're not really, you know. I started on my sweet potato slips, if you can't tell, but I just so happened to find a sweet potato in the back of my cabinet, and so I had a little extra thing with soil in it. So I said, you know what? Let's just plant this in some soil and get these sweet potato slips going. So that's why it looks like that right here. So I'm just going to take the water, pour it into the saucer. The plant will hopefully get its nutrients. All right. I'm going to wash my hands again. That's just going to soak up some nutrients right now. It's honestly not that stinky. Next on the list is to separate our seedlings. So let me go grab them. Here are the super sweet 100s in question. I think you kind of saw them in the other video. I kind of got seed happy on one side and not so seed happy on the other side. This one I'm going to leave on its own, but these 4 I'm going to separate. I just purchased these from the dollar store. Well, really, you see they were $3. So the Dollar Plus store. And so I'm going to drill some holes in them. I'm going to drill some holes into 3 of these cups. I'm going to do like probably 4. And then I will plant my Super Sweet 100s directly in here. And they will live here until they go out into the garden. Oh, they soak those up real fast. The seedlings are done that fast. Let me rinse these real quick. This is my soil. This is cocoa coir mixed with the worm casting. So I'm just going to take my little homemade sprayer and just pre-moisten the soil. I had a comment on one of my other videos. One of you guys asked me what got me started into gardening. It was just something that kind of just entered into my heart one day, and I did it. But I do want to say I went to an agricultural high school and I studied horticulture for 4 years. So I have been working in gardens, landscaping. I've been doing, all types of growing and maintenance. I'm going to scoop out these Super Sweet 100 seeds. I honestly don't have to go too deep. The roots are rooting, y'all, so I have to pot them soon. A lot of gardeners will say wait to transplant until they get their first leaves. I don't. As long as the plant has a root, it's going to want to grow. Like, plants want to grow. They know what they're going to do. At least in my instance, I have been able to transplant baby seedlings and have had no issues with transplant shock. I've had no issues with, loss. I'm going to take the other edge of this spoon. And while I'm planting them, since I'm planting them in a new container, I'm also going to just plant them a little bit deeper. Oh, maybe not that deep. Maybe not that deep. Hold on. Put that in there. Pop it in there. Here is my tomato seedling, Super Sweet 100. I'm just going to pop it right into the hole. Just a little bit deeper. Pack it in. Look at those roots. And look how small it is. And look at those roots. Like, it'll be fine. And also, if it doesn't, that's also fine because I have plenty to go around. You can also fix your leggy seedlings by simply just pressing them down. You have to be very gentle though, because I have lost plenty of seedlings by snapping them in half, being too rough. So you don't want to do that. But just gonna pop that there, and I can still use this soil. No use in wasting it, though it's all the same soil, so it really doesn't matter. So what was I gonna say? What was I gonna say? Squirrel. I know. I do plant a lot of seedlings. I do plant a lot of like things in general, just because I always account for loss. I'm extra like that. That's why I ended up with so many peppers, because I cannot spare a single seedling. It hurts my heart. It makes me feel like when people snip their seedlings, that gives me anxiety. I don't like snipping my seedlings. I save my seedlings, and I feel like push comes to shove, I find somewhere to put them in the garden, or I find someone to give them away to, or I have a plant sale and end up selling them. So it all works out in the end. They will end up in somebody's garden, trust me. But I think I'm just going to water these a little bit since I just put them in. Just watering them just so they can settle, because tomatoes don't like being too wet. So I'm not going to do too much, but I think that's enough. And then I'll just leave it to settle for a few days. So look at that, super sweet. Oh, I have to make my labels because I'm going to forget. So let me make my labels now. Super Sweet 100. So our last frost is in 7 weeks, which means that we still have a lot of stuff to do. I mean, I pretty much have handled my heaviest seeding week, which was at around 8 weeks. But my next heaviest seeding week will be 4 weeks, because then that's when I do 4 weeks and 2 weeks. And then the next one will be direct sow. So I did that. I can check that off my list. That's cool. The peppers are also pretty much soaked in at this point. By the way, this Super Sweet 100 seed was from Burpee Seed, and I have 100% germination with that pack so far. I don't know what Burpee did with their seedlings with that pack, but they ate. Next thing on my list is I need to sow more. I need to sow more Georgia. I need to sow. This is like a mouthful. I need to sow more Georgia Southern seeds. I need 3 in my garden to really make my garden plan work this year, but it got knocked over. I'm not going to say who, but just know it wasn't me. I had sowed some Georgia Southern collard seeds. It got knocked over. So I was able to save some. And I actually saved enough to fill this whole tray, but as you can tell, only 2 have made it, and this one kind of looks like it's on its way out. So before it gets too late, I'm going to just put more seeds into these cells, so that way they're a little dry, so that way I will still have a chance of getting my 3 Georgia Southern collard seeds, because I definitely want collard greens. Okay, so these are from MI Gardener. I also get pretty good germination rate with MI Gardener. MI Gardener does not steer me wrong yet. So if you're wondering, I get my seeds from MI Gardener. You can obviously get them from any of your big box stores. The good thing about Georgia Southerns, they're both cold and heat tolerant. So they're one of the few green vegetables that actually like grow all year long. So these are one of the things that you pretty like much can keep in the garden throughout the summer. As long as it doesn't get like too hot. They might scald a little bit. I did have that issue one season, but I'm gonna cover them. I didn't cover them last time, and I think that's why I didn't make it. I'm gonna cover them. So we just sow some more seeds. So we did that, and next thing done on our list to do. Let me move the pepper seeds back, and then we're going to fertilize our lemon balm. I think this needs more water because it's taller. So I'm going to add more water to the bottom here. You can't tell. But because this is an awkwardly shaped bottle, the holes are kind of like up. We can also fertilize our purple opal basil that we had in our little Keurig cups, because these also have 2 sets of leaves. I don't think I'm going to, since there's still some that are germinating, I'm not going to fertilize these ones, but I will definitely go fertilize these. These are the red burgundy onions. You can't even really see them. I planted these in January. I'm also going to sow more garlic chives, because this is the only one that germinated out of the whole bunch that I planted here. And if they were going to germinate, they should have germinated by now. I planted these in January. Now we are also going to do a little experiment. We're going to see if we can germinate these peppers. I had purchased these snacking peppers from the supermarket not too long ago. I was able to save seed from them. They're really small, they're super sweet, super crunchy. I actually really enjoy them. My daughter also loves them. She eats them fresh and raw all the time. So I'm actually going to plant some and see if they germinate, because if they do, we're going to put them in the garden this year, because I think it'll be a perfect addition. So these are the pepper seeds, red snacking. I just labeled them. And essentially, I just took the seed off of the membrane, and then I just put it out on a paper towel to dry, and I popped them into here. That's a good enough amount, right? I don't know. Let's do more. Yeah, I think I should have wet it first. Or no, I just like fold it and then wet it. That sounds about right. Roll it. Maybe wet it again. So now it's damp. And then we pop it into our Ziploc baggie. Let me put red snacking so I don't get myself confused. If I had to give anybody a tip while they were learning how to garden, it would definitely be to label your plants, because even though you think you're going to remember, oh, I'm going to remember that this plant is this plant, you're not. Trust me. And let's do orange. Sprinkle, sprinkle. Roll it. So essentially, this is a good way to see if your seeds are going to germinate without actually taking up soil or space. So this is the first time I'm actually trying this method. What these are supposed to do is they're supposed to germinate on the paper. And then that's what you plant right in the soil once they come up, if they come up. And so the reason why I'm doing it like this instead of putting it right in the soil is because I don't know if it's going to come up. And I don't really want to waste any extra space, because I already am working with a small one as it is. So I really just want to see what happens first. And I think this is the best way to do that. And by putting it in a Ziploc bag, we're retaining the moisture, and we're also keeping the temperature inside of it, creating like a greenhouse effect. You could put these somewhere warm. That can also help with germination. So we'll check on this in a few days, and we'll see what happens. Okay, we did that. Oh, let's plant more garlic chives. I already have some direct sown. I mean, not direct sown. What is it called? Uh, Winter sown. That's what I was trying to say. I already have some winter sown. I'm just adding a little bit on top. But of course, I'm still starting some indoors. And just like that, that has been crossed off our list. I think that was enough for today. I think we actually got a lot checked off of our list for today. So I'll see y'all next time. I hope you enjoyed watching me get some of my garden chores done. My indoor garden chores, that is. And if you will like this video, I hope that you send a little comment, and make sure you subscribe if you're not subscribed already, because there's so much more coming to the garden very soon. Bye.